Well, a Bayou La Batre judge is tonight weighing whether or not to drop charges against Theodore's head football coach and AD, Eric Collier. Collier was involved in that brawl on the bayou in May. He wants the case thrown out, claiming he was standing his ground during the fight. But the alleged victims claim Collier was the aggressor. Here's Fox News investigative reporter Brendan Kirby to sort it all out for us.
The municipal court judge here in Bayou La Batre heard more than 2 hours of testimony this afternoon, but nothing was resolved. He says he'll call more witnesses at a later date. The misdemeanor criminal charges stem from a fight that erupted at the Bayou La Batre docks on May 8th. The brawl occurred after an altercation earlier in the day involving Theodore coach Eric Collier's teenage son. Both groups arrived back in the bayou at roughly the same time. The coach and some of his relatives were waiting. The ensuing confrontation was caught on video. Bayou La Batre police charged 4 people with assault: Collier, his brother Sean Collier, and his adult sons E.J. Collier and Hayden Collier. At today's hearing, the defense called witnesses who pointed the finger at the supposed victims. Jonathan Cunningham, who was fishing at the time, testified that several people jumped off the second boat, started swinging at Coach Collier, and then pulled him into the water. He says they were the definite aggressors and that one of them retrieved a gun from a car and fired about 13 times. The coach's sister-in-law, Melissa Collier, testified that a man she recognized from surveillance footage as the one who fired the gun was the one who threw the first punch. But Hunter Hinton, one of the alleged victims, testified Coach Collier grabbed at the leg of one of the other victims and that man swung at the coach in self-defense. He later acknowledged, though, that he couldn't be sure who had grabbed at the man's legs, and he admitted that he arrived at the docks expecting a confrontation with one of the defendants that day. City Prosecutor Brent Day declined to talk about the case, but Dennis Nisley, a lawyer representing Coach Collier, says he believes the defense showed this was self-defense.
I think the fisherman was very important. Mr. Cunningham was a very important witness. He was totally independent, knew no one. Came up, saw what happened, said obviously the people on the boat were the aggressors, and obviously they beat up or jumped on Coach Collier, and he was only defending himself.
Jason Darley, the lawyer representing E.J. Collier, argues the video shows his client did not engage in violence until after the other group did.
It's a bit of a melee, but numerous witnesses repeatedly testified that when someone from that boat threw the first punch is when the altercation began.
As I mentioned, this hearing will resume at a later date. If the judge rules for the defense, that will end the case. If not, it will proceed to trial. Reporting from Bayou La Batre, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.